Hi, I'm Dr. Kirsten Pardon Johansson, and I teach Acting 1.
How do you recommend students prepare for a typical class day?
So, a typical class day in Acting 1 is hard to define. The thing that you probably need to come most prepared with is a willingness to try. I'm not looking for actors who are polished and headed for Broadway. I'm just looking for a willingness to try.
What is the number one thing students should do in order to succeed in this class?
The number one thing students should do in order to be successful in this class is to come in with a willingness to try, to be a little bit vulnerable, and to grow. I don't grade against anyone. I grade you against you, and I look for growth. And if you've made growth, that to me is A work.
What type of student would you recommend to take this class?
Over the years, I've seen this class go from only theater kids to widening and having a really diverse classroom base. I think anyone can take acting. In life, you will always have to act. No matter what career you choose, there will be times that you will have to act. And I think that it's a fun class. It gives you a little bit more confidence. You get used to being up in front of people. And I think that the wider variety of student who takes the class, the richer the class will be.
How much is the homework load, if there is any?
There's very little homework in Acting 1, which means that it is intense during class period. Acting, in most regards, acting requires more than one person. So our work in class is vital. You don't do as much at home, maybe one or two homework assignments that are long-term papers, but mostly you need to be in here, you need to be in class for sure, and you need to be working with the other students.
What is the format of summative assessments or projects?
So in my class, I do 80-20, and 80%, of course, being the summative. And what I look for in the summative are habits and behaviors of actors that develop throughout the semester. It's not something you are going to have after one test, but I look at your body of work beginning from the first day of class, wherever you start and wherever you end up. That is the biggest, it's my philosophy for the summative work in an acting and any performance-based class. Your classwork, being here, that falls into summative, because if you aren't in class and you aren't participating and you aren't being reliable for the other students who are in your class, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So for me, that's summative as well. Daily projects, daily exercises, acting games, those sorts of things are more what I would usually put informative.
What class would you suggest students with an A or a B in to take next year?
An A or a B
in Acting 1?
I think that when you look at the future, in your future, in like our acting program, which is really quite tiny, I would say after Acting 1, you have to decide yourself if it's something that you are really committed to continuing. It is not unusual. Most of my students have an A or a B, but that doesn't mean that they absolutely have to or should take Acting 2. For many, I guess I would say, Acting 1 is kind of a sampler, kind of just getting a little feel for it. I do tailor the curriculum to each individual student, so those who are really wanting to pursue heavy acting or looking toward a career with acting, those assignments are different, right, than the student who is just kind of trying to figure out what it is and thinks it might be kind of fun. So for Acting 2, I would say you have to figure out if that's what you want.
right, thank you.